Hey, I'm Daikaiju, and this is the first commentary video I've ever made, so it might turn out sort of awful. But hey, Call of Duty is kind of my jam, and I really wanted to make my own review of the Modern Warfare beta. I have just been hooked on World War II these days, and it's not the first COD game I played. I started out with Modern Warfare 2, but it's probably been the one that's impacted me the most so far. Honestly, I have depression, and less than a year ago, my dad passed away. He was big into history and especially the World Wars, so I kind of started playing World War II a lot, and I actually started making montages as like a creative outlet, I guess, to deal with it all. So anyway, I was pretty hyped for Modern Warfare when it was announced, and the beta was seriously worth the wait. But trying to compare this game to World War II is like comparing apples to oranges, as cliche as it sounds. Yeah, both games are a part of the Call of Duty series, sure, but they really couldn't be more different, and I think everyone has been saying that. Modern Warfare isn't your typical COD game. It's something else, and that's a good thing. Look, I want to be straight up. I am not a weapons expert, a gameplay mechanics expert, or really any sort of expert. I just have a passion for gaming. I'm probably somewhere between a tryhard and a casual, maybe closer to a casual if I'm honest. But I love COD, and I really loved Modern Warfare. Like I said, this Modern Warfare, it's different. It feels different, it plays different, it sounds different. I mean, you guys, the sounds blew me away. I rely on sounds so much in World War II, but I can't believe how important it is in Modern Warfare. I mean, you can hear everything, and actively listening to it all will save your life and get you the kills. The footsteps were definitely hard to prioritize at times. I had to keep checking my radar to see if a friendly popped up, and if they didn't, then you knew a baddie was coming. And I don't think some players realized how much sound was made when they ran or even walked on certain textures. So like any metallic type noises really stood out a lot. You really have to crouch a lot, I feel like, and slow your roll. I saw people just running guns a-blazing and get killed almost instantly. I think there are good times to move quickly and bad times to move quickly. Like, if there's no gunfight happening, it's quiet. Don't run unless you need to, because people are definitely going to hear you. But if there's like a kill streak going on, there's gunfighting, it's loud, you can definitely move a little bit faster and not worry as much, but still be cautious because people can still hear your footsteps. I was always impressed when I could tell other players also relied on their sound and you could see them react to it. So I heard someone walking by an upstairs window in Hackney Yard, and I tried to approach them from the outside cautiously, but he still heard me. The dude ran back to the window and he headshotted me. I mean, it was awful, but honestly really impressive. I think there are definitely more victories when people paid attention to the sound. Infinity Ward made some incredible audio mixes, so you can actually choose which one works best for you, and you can tell the difference between each of the settings. So I use the headphones 3 setting, and I can't really go into detail about all the options because I don't know enough about them, but I'll definitely include a link in the description below so you can go learn more about that yourself. The other amazing thing about the sound was the guns. Like, that stuff was mind-blowing. Again, I'm not an expert here, but I can't believe how realistic it all sounded. The gunshots, the reloads, all of it. And the mechanics of the guns, like, that was unbelievable. I know there are more in-depth reviews out there on the sound and the feel of the guns, so definitely go watch those because the level of detail impressed the heck out of me. I'll include the links to a couple of those videos in the description below. So for my main class, I used overkill, which allowed me to have like 2 primary weapons basically, and I used ghost and amped. So for my first primary, I used the M4, and on that I had a muzzle brake, a heavy duty barrel, a heavy stock, a merc scout optic, and I used FMJ on that. And then for my secondary, I used the EBR, and on that I had a tactical suppressor, an angled foregrip, a lightweight gunstock, a scout combat optic, and I also used FMJ on that, and I can include this information in the description below as well. I usually use a 4x in World War II, but I actually had an issue with the hybrid in Modern Warfare, and I kept clicking the stick mid-fight, and the animation for switching from the 4x to the 1x would trigger, and I die every time. So I had to switch to the Merc Scout optic, which is a 3x. I really wish I could lock on somehow with the hybrid while I'm using the 4x and not worry about an accidental switch. So I don't know, hopefully there's a fix for that added at some point. Again, I'm definitely not an expert at all, and some of you might think I have no clue what I'm doing, and I really don't, but this kind of worked for me. I was kind of bummed that the card wasn't available in the beta. That's my baby in World War II, so I was really hoping to use it. But like I said, I opted for the EBR and I actually really liked it. Okay, you guys, I swear to you, I got a collateral with the EBR on this map and I lost it because my Elgato wasn't even recording. Like, you don't have to believe me, but I was so excited and then immediately devastated to find out that it didn't get captured. And then I didn't get another one for the rest of the beta weekend. I was pretty disappointed, but hopefully when the game releases, it won't take long before I can get another and play with my car. So aside from the guns and sounds, what really sets this game apart from other COD games for me are the different game modes. In World War II, I usually play a lot of domination, hardcore, free-for-all, and gun game, but the extra challenge and novelty of the modes in Modern Warfare were perfect. I liked the usual domination and headquarters, definitely more of a Dom fan though. I'm personally not big into team deathmatch, I prefer objective-based modes more. The 20v20 was a bit much for me at times, but surprisingly I liked ground war. I honestly didn't even want to try it at first, but my friends kept encouraging me, so I did, and I wasn't even trash at it. I think the best thing there is just not getting overwhelmed and focusing on surviving. But my favorites were definitely gunfight, cyber attack, and I really liked the realism and NVG. So the 2v2 gunfight had two different types. The first one I played had everyone on the same playing field by giving everyone the same gun at the start of each round, and there were 6 rounds to win. I was definitely feeling this mode. I sucked real bad with the AX-50 whenever it came up, but I wasn't too bad with the other guns, so I was able to hold my own. The second type was called OSP, or on-site procurement, and you had to quickly grab a gun from around the map and kill the other dudes first, which was definitely an added challenge, but the guns on each side were the same, so there was still somewhat of an equal playing field. You just have to be quick to find the gun, or hopefully the one that you're best at, and take the other team out. Like, this was such a challenge, and at first I wasn't sure about it, but it definitely grew on me. Both variations are pretty hardcore, but a lot of fun. What worked for me was staying cautious and stealthy, but still being aggressive. I avoided taking the far right or far left side unless it was necessary, because I noticed that a lot of players ran that way, and you can especially see this happen in Pine. So I tried to stay between mid and the far side and sneak up on the player. I wasn't always successful, but I think I did pretty well in this mode. There's definitely a lot more strategy and survival skills required for gunfight for sure, but it's easy to pick up and get good at. Just make sure you get your guys so your teammate isn't left on their own, and communicate. Definitely call out where the baddies are and tell your teammate if you died. It can be hard to pay attention to your friend being downed if you're in a fight or about to be in one. I really liked cyber attack too. It's sort of like search and destroy. You have to basically destroy the other team's data center with 5 rounds to win, or you have to be the last man standing on your team in each round. Also, you only have 1 life per round, but your team can revive you and you can revive your teammates, which sometimes people just didn't do. I'm not sure if they didn't know how or didn't want to, but I noticed players standing on their teammates' revive spot when they could have really used their help and they had the chance to revive them too. So I definitely tried to revive as much as possible, and it helped a lot. So again, a really important thing in this mode is communication with your team. I mean, honestly, communication is key to any team games, but especially in modes like this where your team depends on you so much. This mode also requires a bit more strategy. I tend to play a bit more cautious and I don't rush into things, so I wasn't too bad. Again, use your headphones and rely on the sound. I think both gunfight and cyber attack were like the perfect adrenaline rush and perfect amount of hardcore for me, and I think out of everything, I like these modes the most. Realism mode was definitely a bit more hardcore than the regular hardcore modes, but I like that. There was no user interface to tell you things like bullet count, or kill streaks. There was no compass, and there were no hit markers. It was challenging, but still fun. Now this is a very slow-paced mode, and again, it heavily relies on sound, so don't run around because you'll get killed. And trust me, I got killed because of that, and got kills because I could hear people running toward me. I cannot emphasize this enough. Get some headphones and mess with your audio settings because it really does make a huge difference. In the night vision goggle mode, or NVG, you were straight up in the dark, and that was fun. At first I had no idea how to use the NVGs, but some cool dudes on PlayStation I played with helped me figure it all out, so thanks to them for that. using the goggles was actually pretty rad. The biggest thing to remember here though is aiming down the sights. There isn't regular ADS while using NVG. You have a laser sight and people can see the laser. So if you're like me and almost always have your sights up in potential battle situations, try to not do it unless someone is really there to take out, because enemies will likely see you first and potentially get you first, and your teammates are probably going to be annoyed and call you out for it. The maps in the beta were just beautifully designed, and I didn't find one that was like a least favorite or anything. I actually kind of like them all. My favorites though might have been Pine for Gunfight and Azure Cave, especially in NVG. And the fighting seemed to flow pretty well throughout the maps. There really wasn't like a map or a location in the maps that annoyed me or really caused me too much frustration. I think you just have to know how to avoid what gets you killed the most. So, if snipers kill you a lot, avoid anything that could be a sniper perch. So, rooftops, container tops, and both Hackney Yard and Gunrunner, they definitely get sniped from a lot. There's a yellow building on Seaside and Hackney Yard that I personally got sniped from quite a few times. Another thing to avoid would be rushing B, or wherever B would be located at in the mode that you're playing when people are holding it down. So like Hackney Yard and B Warehouse, that building gets held down even when you're not playing domination. So if your team is getting wiped up from rushing it, just quit rushing it. Take them out from the outside and push forward cautiously, but still aggressively. It sounds pretty basic, but it's crazy how many times I saw that happen over beta weekend or in COD games in general. People tend to repeat the same behaviors in life and in game. So if you look at the heat maps on the Call of Duty app, you'll see how often people run to, die in, and get kills from the same place. I think if you can start to predict what people will do, it will give you an advantage in this game. And again, I just want to say that I'm not an expert. I'm not even saying that I'm that good. But I'm not trash, and I've improved a lot since I first started playing because of tips like these. So the last thing I want to mention was the crossplay. I dug that. I was able to play with friends on PC, Xbox, and PS4, and that was really cool. I think the only thing I wish was that you could have some sort of party chat with people on cross-platform. So like at one point, my friend who was on PC and I were talking, and I play on Xbox, and we didn't think anyone could hear us because no one responded. But then the next match, a few people did respond, and we were kind of tripped out. So I would like that option, and maybe the option to easily switch back and forth from party chat, then to game chat, and back again. I do that with my friends in World War II, especially for modes like Gun Game, because it's actually kind of fun to talk to people in that one. For the most part, people were really chill. I've always heard COD was kind of a toxic community, and surprisingly, I've actually never come across that. Not in World War II anyway, so I really hope that it continues to be a chill experience. Overall, I just really loved the Modern Warfare beta, and I am really looking forward to the full game release. So huge thanks to Activision and Infinity Ward for one heck of a game so far. I really didn't want to quit playing, and you guys have definitely succeeded in getting my reward system activated. It has just far exceeded my expectations. And a big thanks to everyone who took the time to watch this. I definitely appreciate it. And I hope you'll stick around for some more videos. Anyway, later guys.